So, guys, I want to talk about this thing with this naive stuff again, man, because I hear so many readers talking about, my situation. I think one thing I can say about the cards is sometimes it generalizes things that, remember I told y'all in the ancient Hermetic text, I think it's the law of polarity. Don't quote me, but in the Hermetic text, they say truth is nothing but half truth. So sometimes those cards, they be coming out and they be saying things about somebody that may or may, it may be just a generalization. Uh, People see me as passive and naive. Guys, in my own mind, and maybe I'm being a little egotistical here, I think after the eight, I was not passive. I mean, guys, I was the first one to leave that religion when I was 14 years old. Was that passive? Was that naive? I was the first one in the family at age 14 that said, I don't want to be a part of this religion. I went against the whole group. Guys, I've been a rebel since I was 14 years old. So when I keep hearing this stuff about passive and naive, I'm just thinking, no, those are generalizations. I've not. Wait a minute. I stood up against the whole group. I went against the whole group at age 14. Okay, that's not passive and that's not naive either. I was being provoked by these people, guys. Remember, all my life, I did the most courageous, bold thing nobody. I have yet to find somebody that's been as courageous as me, guys. Hold on for a minute. Guys, in my mind's eye, I'm a brave motherfucker. Now, the naive, let's just talk about the generalizations as far as me being naive and passive. Guys, what are you supposed to do? It's like, what if you know there's a serial killer out there killing people, right? And you decide one day that you're going to kill that serial killer. Well, guess what? You're going to lose your job, and then you're going to spend the next few years trying to explain to the justice system how you killed somebody. Like, who has time? Is that person passive and naive? No. They just can't do nothing about it. They have to sit back and, I guess, pray to God and let God take care of it. That's what I had to do most of the time. I knew something was wrong with these people. I didn't know exactly what it was. I knew people was jealous. I didn't know exactly how jealous, but I didn't have time to think about it. Remember, God, I was Cinderella. I had to work because people were constantly fucking with me. So I had to constantly work harder and harder. And if I lose a job, I was trying to find another job. I didn't have time to be fighting people, even though they was trying to get me into these mixes. I didn't have time for it, guys. So it wasn't passive. Now there are some people who know me since I was 14. They will tell you I'm not a passive person. I have a really volatile side that I had to control. And some of these readers been talking about how I got murdered in my past life over jealousy, and how this life I learned to alchemize that into being able to get revenge on people without using force. I was supposed to be the one that was going to hurt somebody, guys, and get locked up, and then somebody else going to get all the money. Remember, because they wanted me behind bars. So they was willing to sacrifice people, sending these flying monkeys at me, hoping that I hurt one of them. That's why I'm telling y'all, man, y'all crazy as hell. Letting a broad do all this. I don't even want to go down that route, man. Women run the household and all that old bitch shit. Those are the motherfuckers that's passive and naive. Somebody who let a woman tear the whole goddamn family down. Got women in my family that are pretty much murderers. There are things I want to talk to authorities, but I can't even say on YouTube about things that I suspect. But when you got women in the family killing people, and the men in the family ain't standing up and doing nothing about it, then what the fuck? If that's not passive, I don't know. Don't call me passive. I can't do nothing about it. What am I supposed to do about it? Right? Other than sit back, I had to keep working and let God take care of my business for me. That's all I could do. I couldn't do none of that. I didn't want to learn this. I didn't want to do the same mistakes I did in my past life, right? Because I could have been a motherfucker to take all these motherfuckers out and just say fuck it, right? And I have that in me to be like that. And especially based on who I was in my past lives. I was nobody to play with. I said again, there are people who know me since I was young. They know that I am nobody to play with. That's why they have to always be in groups when it was attacking and gaslight. And that's another thing about people who master gaslighters. What are you supposed to do when somebody's gaslighting? other than just trying to stay away from them. But I will say it again, there are people who know that I had restraint. They know not to play. That's why they was always in groups. Nobody, I keep telling you, nobody ever tries to disrespect me one-on-one. And it remains that way, not just dealing with family matters, but out in public. Nobody ever wants to deal with me one-on-one. No one ever says, hey, step outside, let's talk, man. No, that never happens. It's always some bitch motherfucker that's talking shit to me. They got 5 cameras on them, 700 cameras in Target, right? Or they in a group, or they got a walkie-talkie and can call backup. I ain't never had no man just stand that has something against me, stand me toe and toe and say, hey, let's talk about it. Like, man, it's never happened. Now, that's what I judge being passive and naive about it. If you just have the power to do something about something, and then you just don't do it. Like fucking that movie Back to the Future when dude Lorraine, he was supposed to be with Lorraine, but he had to hit Biff at the end. That's not, guys. I wasn't that type of guy. I was the guy that would have beat Biff up. Okay, from the beginning. I never forget in grade school, 3rd grade, everybody thought I was passive. The teacher, he had this stupid bully type of dude causing all his problems. And we all wanted to go to lunchroom. No, this was 6th grade. The teacher told me to go get this motherfucker in the class and drag him out of the room. He was just in there, and we couldn't leave and go to the lunchroom until this motherfucker guy in the classroom. He was like knocking down. That's all I need is somebody in authority to say, go get him, and I'll go get him. If you can promise me immunity, I will go get him. No problem. That's not passive. But anyway, going back to 6th grade, I never forget this dude's name. His name was Arthur. He wasn't really a bully, but he caused a lot of trouble. And the teacher told me to go back in that room and get him. She didn't call security. She told me to go get that motherfucker and drag him out the class. That's exactly what the fuck I did. I am an enforcer, guys. If I had immunity, oh my, I can't even tell y'all what I would be doing if I had immunity. Okay? But like I said, going back to these readers, those are when you talk about passive and a little naive and stuff, look, hey, I didn't know motherfuckers gonna steal my goddamn money. I didn't know. Right? God didn't want me to know. Now, I can't tell you some things I was naive about, and I was naive about that. I had to learn that I'm not supposed to be working on 9-to-5 jobs and all that, and I have made the adjustments to get to that point. But it's not easy. You have to see this shit, man, because you grow up, everybody's doing the same thing, working 9-to-5, and everybody, especially me, when you have the whole community going against you. I mean, come on, guys, what the fuck? What could I do? Because if I start being aggressive, they would have used that against me. They were already saying that I was crazy and I had a bad temper. Anything I did, they used it against me. So what the fuck was I supposed to do? But just sit back and let God take care of my business this lifetime. So I get a little triggered when I hear this passive and naive stuff, because the only thing I was naive and passive about was about things that I just simply had no knowledge of. That's it. Now, I had, just like the last video I made that says see why. Now I see why. Now I know. You can't do nothing about nothing until you know something. But now I don't see myself as passive, man. See, when I think of being passive, I think of a male that don't stand up to tyranny. I've always stood up to tyranny. I've always stood up for the truth. I've always been the one to go against the grain. I've always been the one to say, no, that's not right. I don't care if 100 motherfuckers believe in that. No, I'm not doing what everybody else doing. So I don't see myself as passive at all. But I do, like I said, I understand these cards, they make like these generalizations, about people, places, and things. They just, it's always these generalizations. And I understand that. But I just wanted to tell y'all that, man. If you don't know something, you just don't know. But no, I'm telling you talk to people in my family, they know. They know that they had to tiptoe around me. They know they had to fucking tiptoe with me. They know it. They know I had it in me that I could have did everybody in. And just like, fuck it, set the whole place on fire. They knew I had that in me. That's why they had to sneak and tiptoe and operate out of groups. If it was really about anything, I would have had a grown man step to me and talk to me about this situation. Not one did that. Now, that's fucking what you call passive to me. letting women fucking kill people, murder people in the family, and not doing nothing about it. That's something you expect a man to do, not women. Anyway, y'all, I just want to do my little rant about that because I ain't never been no passive motherfucker. I just simply didn't know. And God made it that way on purpose because even God knows I have a side to me. It can be extremely dangerous.